Cerebral palsy is a disorder that normally occurs before birth, but can also develop from the lack of oxygen during the birth process, or from a brain trauma, or from the brain infection at a young age, or from shaken baby syndrome. Cerebral palsy is a disorder that many times affects the person's movement rather than their mental capabilities. However, some students with cerebral palsy can have speech difficulties. People with cerebral palsy can have abnormal posture, involuntary movements, impaired movements, slow writing movements, delayed motor skills, difficulty eating and swallowing, and have excessive drooling. When teaching a student with cerebral palsy, having adequate space in your classroom would be necessary, as many people with cerebral palsy are confined to wheelchairs and would need wheelchair access. As far as SAE opportunities for a student with cerebral palsy, students could and have care for a garden on the school farm where they could raise and grow plants, since these items could be accessed with a wheelchair if needed, and watering and caring for a garden or plants has minimal heavy lifting and strength needed to follow out these SAEs. A student could do an animal SAE, such as a poultry or rabbit project, since these are smaller animals that someone with cerebral palsy could handle and care for. I have even personally seen a young man at our county fair with cerebral palsy. He is confined to a wheelchair. However, he shows a lamb each year at the fair. He leads his lamb with a halter, and someone else pushes him in his wheelchair in the show ring. So I think it is very possible for a student, if I had one, with cerebral palsy, for them to raise a market lamb or a market goat and raise that animal to be tame enough where when the student in a wheelchair or with cerebral palsy could lead that animal in the show ring and have somebody push them in their wheelchair to show. As long as their parents were supported with this decision, I think that would be very possible for a student to have a little bit larger animal such as a lamb or a goat.